Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Friday night. You know what time it is. It is another episode of the Good Brothers Committee Podcast. And I'm a right-hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. P. Powell. To the third power, Mr. Preston Powell the third.
What's going on, Chad? Good brothers back like spinal cords and crosses.
Watch out now.
But today's spoke, finishing off that Hiram Solomon's fellow crab. Guys,
Mm,
look at that.
good stick,
Actually,
good
this is a
stick.
smooth stick. I hadn't smoked this since we first started carrying it. We carry
Mm,
almost a great deal of his line, the Shriner and
right,
all those cigars. But
right,
I said I was going to smoke this weekend. He kind of got on me. He said, I'm always posting everybody else cigars and haven't been smoking his a lot. So I said, I'm smoking it all week.
right. That's what's up. I can dig it.
Well, Chad, so before we get into the local stuff, let's talk a little bit about Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. What did you think about that when that first dropped?
I was surprised, but listening to some of the quote unquote experts on how they go. I think it's more politics than anything else. But then one said it best that there was an opportunity to get some guys in that should have been in a long time ago, like LC Greenwood.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, come on, man. Bill still got a little time left. I hope he does.
yeah.
And he'll go in for sure next year. But
Yeah, no
LC
doubt he's going in,
Greenwood,
but I think
yeah,
it's more the honor of that first ballot.
yeah, first ballot.
The first being
Roger
that first.
Craig. Roger Craig should have been in 20 years ago, man. Come on now.
Now, I did hear one voter say, he said he voted for Belichick, but he said this was the first year that instead of voting someone in, you
Hmm.
voted like you only allowed to vote for this many people.
Mm,
Like they only allowed to like you had to pick like he didn't give a number like you had to pick who's your four Hall of Famers out of this group,
right. I got
and
you.
then they aggregate that. So
Right.
he said what you touched on a little while ago. He said there's a situation where you had a lot of guys that this was their last chance
Right. Hmm.
to get in. And he knows some voters did look at that. And then when you take an account, he said, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You combine that with somebody that's not well liked, even
Right.
though everybody know he's a Hall of Famer, they just say, okay, he can wait. Like you just said, he can wait. He's gonna get in. It ain't
Right.
like we're gonna keep him out, but he's just gonna be first ballot. But
Right.
I still think it's football now. It's still jacked up.
It is, but it goes to the politics thereof, I think. And again, what you just said, a lot of people think Bill Belichick's a jackass. But anywho, you didn't
Yeah,
hear that from me.
yeah. So and they made him pay for it. I mean, everybody pointing to Bill Polian. They say Bill Polian gave a little speech why he shouldn't be a first ballot of fame. Now, if you're not familiar with Bill Polian and we put
Yeah, I,
something up,
I saw something to that effect. Yeah.
yeah, Bill Polian. I mean, Belichick kept Bill Polian from winning a couple of championships.
Let me break down how you get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the girls, the gays, and the straight men who are confused right now. Okay, so each year, up to 8 people are selected to be in the Football Hall of Fame. Up to 5 players, and up to 3 people from the Blue Ribbon Committee. These are senior players, coaches, and contributors. How do they choose who makes it into the Hall of Fame? There is a voting committee that is made up of 50 members. The voting committee is chosen by the board of directors. These are the big bosses. We don't know exactly how many of them there are, but there are around 30. Everyone in the voting committee has a 2-year term, so every 2 years, these people can change. The voting committee is made up of a diverse group of individuals to try to make it fair. So the big bosses choose a media member from each NFL team, one person from the Pro Football Writers of America, and 17 other contributors, which are usually veteran media members and players and coaches with actual football experience. Now, the 8 people who get selected into the Hall of Fame get voted in by this voting committee, right? At least 80% of the voters have to say yes to you in order to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, where this gets complicated is the number of blue ribbon contributors gets narrowed down to 5. Now, the rules just changed that there has to be at least one coach that is considered, and that coach this year is Bill Belichick. So this year, there were 3 senior players, 1 owner, Robert Kraft, how ironic, that is Bill Belichick's boss, and 1 coach, Bill Belichick. 80% of the voting committee gets to choose up to 3 of these people to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. But Bill Belichick didn't get enough votes to be considered. So he couldn't get 80% of the voting committee to choose him over any of these other people. So some of them might have chosen 2 players and the owner. Some of them might have chosen all 3 players. Some of them might have chosen 1 player and the owner. But they couldn't get 80% of them to choose Bill Belichick. So now Bill Belichick will not make it into the 2026 Hall of Fame, but he will be eligible again in 2027. But since only one of the 5 blue ribbon contributors can be a coach, somebody else that might have gotten the opportunity will not get it in 2027 because obviously Bill Belichick and his 8 rings are going to get that coaching spot, and the other coaches are going to have to wait another year to be considered.
Yeah, but oh, how the mighty has fallen.
Yeah. So they say he was a little salty about that. So that played a role.
Yeah, indeed.
So,
Indeed.
but yeah, I thought he should have got in. I thought he should have been first ballot. But at the same time, if you tell me L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, or make Bill Belichick wait a year, Bill got to wait. And then, I've never been a fan of Belichick anyway.
I mean, neither.
But, I can't deny
His
the
body
best.
of work, you can't deny
Yeah,
it.
you can't.
I mean, his body
you
of work.
just can't deny it. I mean, you sound foolish if you try to.
Right. So, Preston, who else do you feel that can go and who you feel like that should be in the NFL Hall of Fame? Without who haven't been there yet. Or better yet, watch this, who've not been dominated yet.
Well, I think Jimmy Smith. Your alumni, Jimmy Smith deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's on the ballot for next year.
I think he's had enough success. I mean, the records he broke when he was there with Jacksonville. And I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he deserves that, serious look at the Hall of Fame. If we talk about first ballot people, I thought T.O. should have been first ballot, but his rocky relationship with the writers and reporters that cost him. So if it was good enough for T.O., it can be good enough for Bill Belichick.
Right.
So it's hard for me to argue for Belichick because of who he is, and I've never been a Patriots fan. But at the same time, I think Chad Johnson should get a look.
Well, his body of work, I agree.
I think he should.
First ballot, no.
No. But it is his first ballot. That didn't been passed. I think he should get it.
Because if you say Chad Johnson, I'm gonna say Steve Smith.
I can see Steve. Did Steve ever lead the league in receiving yards or anything?
I think he did twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but he's at least in top 3.
Yeah, if he has that, I can give it to him. See, Chad, people don't know Chad led the league for 2 years.
He did.
And then and he had a stretch where he led the league like 2-3 years in a row. And I remember TJ Hutchinson talking about the year. In fact, the year that he did lead, TJ led the league.
I love his podcast. That's a raw dude right there.
Oh yeah,
that dude raw.
He laid down.
I like that.
He don't tell no lies. It just me and Acho just don't vibe.
Man, you should have seen the podcast and that dude right there, man. Who was at Texas?
What happened?
They were showing old clips of him at Texas. Ole, 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 ole.
Didn't tackle that.
Face down in the grass, not hitting nobody. I said, look at this odd oblong shaped head boy here.
Yeah, his takes are just always.
It's a little bit too personal for me.
Yeah, and he
antagonistic too as well. I mean,
he's always on the wrong side of history. And we the good brothers here. We like having fun and we like talk sports and cigars and but there's a conversation that has to be had at some point about foundational Black people and immigrants. Because, one of the problems that I found in conversation is that a lot of people from across the water, they look at us as immigrants, and we're not immigrants.
Nope.
My family has
Mm-mm.
been here. My family, we've done our family trip. We've been here since damn near before the Declaration of Independence.
Damn.
So there was if so I always tell people if black people are in America, nobody is.
Right.
Because if you were here before there was in America, what are you talking about?
Right.
So when people say, well, where your family from? Well, my family's from America.
Right. Right.
Now, if you telling me a white boy who just come over here in 1970 can say his family's from America, and my family been here since damn near the middle 1700s, but I can't say I'm from America? Come on. We'll have that conversation one day.
Right.
Just, when we, want to have a serious topic, we get a lot more of this so I can start telling the truth, shame the devil.
I know that's right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I know we ain't gonna be on here long today because we got a late start, but I do want to touch on this. If you're not familiar with Dabo, we can look at this video here.
The NCAA is investigating Ole Miss for tampering, but what could the penalties be? So Dabo Swinney and Clemson is accusing Ole Miss of tampering with one of their players. Luke Farrelly, the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he was committed to Clemson but flipped to Ole Miss. And Dabo Swinney went on an 8-minute tirade explaining why this is bad for college football and why it's bad for them. And now the NCAA is investigating if Ole Miss tampered. And I love to play hypothetical, so if found guilty, what would the punishments be? There are two levels. There's a level 1 violation, and then there's a level 2 violation. And let's start with the one that's not so bad, a level 2. If found guilty, a level 2 punishment would be something like a fine, maybe 1-game suspension for Pete Golding. Not sure they would lose any scholarships, but it wouldn't even be that bad of a penalty, to be honest with you. But if it's a level 1, we have a different scenario. And if it's going to be a level 1 violation, it has to be that someone used a third party or money to tamper. And that's what Dabo Swinney is saying that Ole Miss did by using Jackson Dart, by using Trinidad Chambliss to call the player, and then also sending a contract of a $1 million deal. Now, is that stuff true? I have no idea. Does he have the evidence? I have no idea. If found guilty of level 1 violations, it's possible that they could have a long suspension, long fines, and a loss of scholarships. And the worst one being that they could have a postseason ban. Now, do I see this happening? No, I do not. Why? Because I think Ole Miss would then fight it in court and this would just drag out forever. But it begs the question, if the NCAA or the courts have no ruling over tampering, why do we even have the rules? Would Ole Miss then go after LSU and Lane Kiffin for tampering if they were found guilty? Would other schools in the Big Ten look at each other and go, hey, maybe I can punish them? It's all a mess.
What did you think about Dabo calling names? And with the whole,
Man.
if you not familiar, we talk about the Ole Miss taking the linebacker from Clemson.
I'm gonna say this, Press, and I could be out of line. Dabo's acting like the little boy who took his ball because he couldn't play and went home.
Right.
The same thing's been said with USC, with the linebacker or something, or running back or something. They're accusing Golden of tampering. I just think that Golden is telling them how it is with these kids and not selling no dreams and say, hey, this is going to be this, and the third. You can deal with it or not. No hard feelings. We wish you well. Instead of selling these dreams that you really don't have no good intentions about. At the end of the day. And like I said, I could be wrong, but
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you what Golden was in a horrible spot. Because what has happened to Golden isn't that he's doing something that's abnormal. It's just that he's the only one out there right now. Because they were in the Final Four, so to speak, of football. So
true.
They had a late start. So when they came out and made their offers, a lot of these guys, big time guys who they're going after, they already had offers on the table.
Right.
Some took some offers. But then Ole Miss come along like, well, man, we would have gave you more than that. The reality is, you tried to blame Lane Kiffin for putting out your contract, but the reality is, judging from this stuff that's going on, that might not have been Lane. That might have been a matter of these other coaches that when you texting a player, You texted a guy $1 million contract while he in class. You don't think he's sharing that with anybody? You don't think he's
True,
showing that to everybody around him? Like, oh
true.
man, look what Ole Miss just sent me.
Yeah, and it could be his representation too. That's also doing it, trying
Right,
to
exactly.
you know get some leverage to either get more money or to leverage to get more clients. That's what these players are
Well,
now. They're
that's how.
clients.
Funny you say that, Chad. I think that's how LSU lost that Washington quarterback who wanted to leave and go to LSU. But
Right,
remember his agent dropped him. And the agent, and I can understand the agent standpoint. Hey, I got you right now. But if this happens, that ruins my relationship with this university. Which I'm still he's probably from that area, in that area, and he's probably thinking like, you not worth it.
right,
So I need to go and cut ties with you to let everybody know that I had no part in you signing this deal and reshopping the deal, and I ain't got no part of that. But
right,
then at the same time, you got these unscrupulous guys that have, because look, we talked about this on a previous podcast. There is no regulations for these guys right now.
right,
So you got some guys out there that are literally, you see Ole Miss, like, hey, Ole Miss got money to spend. They looking at their guy that they just got signed somewhere else. They're like, hey, man, I did a little bit more money at Ole Miss. Let me go fill them out. Because I
yeah.
guess that's the bigger commission they get.
Did you see what happened to the quarterback at Alabama State?
I thought that was kind of weird. I thought for sure he was going somewhere. What you think happened there?
I think that he wasn't going to get the money he thought he was going to get. I mean, if you look at the quarterback movement, it was like 15 quarterbacks moved, and that was just in the FBS within itself. So I don't think the movement he thought or the traction that he was going to get based on the season he had, and he had a great season. Shout out to Andrew Biden, Alabama State. Then get in, the traction didn't hold, so he's supposed to be going back home.
What's his classification?
Great question. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go on a limb and say this year he's a senior.
Okay, so he decided to come back and finish it up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I saw that for the first time today. I was shocked. I thought for sure that he was going somewhere.
Yeah. But the question is, what kind of personnel you going to have around him?
Right. Because I mean, these guys, man. So I see they finally formed a commission. They got a commission on college sports as newly formed.
When that happened?
Happened earlier this month because they investigating LSU right now. So you know how
Oh,
that
Lord.
works. Yeah. So,
Are they investigating LSU for making Baton Rouge great again, them hats? Are they
yes.
doing that?
Yeah. Because my people, we always go do something. We're gonna shake it up a little bit. That's why the boot we never race. You got parents, you don't have cows. There's always gonna be something irregular going on. But yeah, it's called the Commission for Collegiate Sports.
Okay.
So
I can dig it.
but I don't know what what authority it has, and I don't know much about the formation of it. But I guess we can start looking into that a little bit next week. But that's just wow. So with that, before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit about we have the AFC, NFC championship games. What do you thought about those games, and what do you think about the upcoming Super Bowl matchup between the Seattle
It's
Seahawks and the Patriots?
it's gonna be intriguing. I mean, I'm sick of the Patriots though. I'm sick of him, but Drake May, shout out to Drake May. I mean, a bulldog of a player, real gritty. A lot of people are pulling for New England. I'm gonna say I got Seattle.
I'm pulling for the Seahawks, man. That bullshit that happened
Yeah, I'm
with
pulling for
Marshawn Lynch, with Russell Wilson, all that back in the day. We need revenge.
small man syndrome.
Yeah, we need revenge. They need to go in there and they need to put something on. Man, let's be honest. Drake
Mm-hmm.
May and New England have had a good string of luck. And what I mean by things fell right for them. When they
We let
played
them off the
San
hook.
Diego, the running back and wide receivers round.
We let them off the hook, boy.
Then you played Houston. Houston defense stood up tall. But I
Yep.
don't know what CJ Stroud was on.
You know what? I know we ain't gonna be here long. CJ Stroud, you remember that? Remember Top Gun
Mm-hmm.
when Goose got killed? Unfortunately, one of my favorite people on there,
Yeah.
and Viper said, "Don't worry about it. Keep put him up. Just got a confidence problem." CJ Stroud got a confidence problem. He
Yeah.
needs a therapist. He needs to talk to somebody.
Man, I don't know what they are. That defense, y'all defense still strong.
Yeah, but he has to
As bad as he
one
played, y'all still had a chance to win.
exactly one. He's afraid. He's concussion prone.
Yeah.
Two,
And
he's
you can see it
pressing.
in his eyes.
Yeah, two, he's pressing. It's like he want to do. He feel like he needs to do. He don't necessarily have to. Now, granted, some weapons were gone. Tank Dell out. Nico Collins out. Schultz get hurt. The backup tight end get hurt. Running game is suspect. So
Yeah, he
I
was up
mean,
out there on the island. Then the weather conditions wasn't conducive
right.
to him. And he was
But
out there on the island. So
yeah, but however, you're the quarterback. You're the
you got
franchise.
you
You're
got
the face of the team.
you got to perform.
Exactly. You gotta
You got to
perform.
perform. Ain't no doubt about that. You got to perform.
Right.
Ain't no way around that. You got to perform. You know,
Right.
I don't know, but
He needs to be hazed
and
when a
then
weight belt is hot
you
and
go to
ready.
face Denver. Denver quarterback breaks his ankle, and that's a whole nother story between him and Sean Payton.
Oh man, we gotta talk about that one. We talk about that another day because
Now we
that's
can talk about that because
crazy.
it just happened. So if
Oh,
you're not familiar with that, we got a video about that right there.
Sean Payton had a little press conference. I guess it's after he decided to scapegoat his offensive coordinator. And he was talking about Bo Nix's ankle because when the doctors went in to repair the ankle, they found a lot more than they expected. What none of us knew, and obviously neither did Sean Payton, is that in high school he had ankle surgery. In college he had ankle surgery. And now, of course, in the pros, he's having ankle surgery. So Bo Nix is like, yo, time out, coach. You don't have the right to publicly talk about, my previous operations. So now I'm thinking Bo Nix has had other surgeries too, and we just don't know about it.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. Trouble in Denver, and that's what happens when the coach doesn't want to take responsibility for mismanaging the AFC Championship game and costing the Broncos and their fans a trip to the Super Bowl. You can blame Sean Payton and only Sean Payton for why you're not playing next Sunday. Ha 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 ha. So funny. Ha ha ha.
why would you say it about the dude?
That cost him some money.
Why would you say it about him? And then here's the thing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is something called confidentiality, especially on the
Technically,
medical
it
stuff.
is, but it's an ethical thing in the NFL because you're part of the NFL. So it's an ethical thing more than it is where you violated some kind of confidentiality. He should not have said that because tampering with his money. Because anybody outside of Denver, we didn't know about it. That he had all those ankle surgeries. So
I didn't. I didn't either.
So if you're a team like he's going into his third year of his rookie deal. So if you're a team with money under the cap, you know how it works. I got money under my cap. And I need a quarterback. What are these young quarterbacks that are really good coming off, or they're coming out of their rookie deal that we can get a shot to shoot at? Well, he was one of them. But talking about how bad his ankles are, they go like, let's push him aside. Let's look at somebody else. Because, Minnesota fired the brother that's their GM. Because he
I saw that.
Yeah, because he missed I was talking to Ray and I'm up here at the shop about that. And I asked him, why did they fire the brother? I mean, even though they had a rough year this year, he's been a winning record as GM quarterback. He took what's the guy from Michigan? Everybody said the dude only threw like 9 passes a game. It's a quarterback from Michigan that when they won the national championship.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't think his name right now.
Yeah, he only threw like 9 passes a game. And he picked him in front of Sam Darnold and all those other guys. Well, he got rid of Sam Darnold for him.
Right.
And then he picked him in front of all these other guys that are excelling. And he's straight coleslaw. So, diced and
Yeah,
chopped with a little mayonnaise.
yeah, buddy. It ain't gonna go down good either.
They fired him. That's a problem, especially when you're wasting, these those young receivers you got like Justin Jefferson and all those guys. Your offense is there.
Right,
You just need the quarterback to give them the ball. So
right.
that's a whole nother story. So,
Yeah,
but
man.
we both root for Seattle, so we can roll with that. As
Oh yeah,
on the last video, if y'all saw the last podcast, we had put it up after that championship game. Chad had it right. He rolled with Indiana. I rolled with Miami. Miami had every chance to do what they needed to do, but that damn caution back, man. Golly, man. Why did you
yeah.
make that throw? The game going back and forth. Miami got that ball in the last. I said, okay, they finna win. I literally thought they were finna win. The block punt was big.
Oh, big, real big,
Yeah.
real big. But and in effigy, when I think about that game, teams gotta stop putting the game in the refs' hands. Because the way the refs call that game, somebody could have got hurt.
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But however, kudos to both teams, to Miami and Indiana, for making it to the national championship game. Salute again to Coach Signetti and Mendoza, the quarterback, for winning the national championship,
First ever in
undefeated.
school history.
First ever in school history. So hey,
3
my
in a
hats
row
off.
for the Big Ten. They pronouncing the sec dead, which I still think the SEC better top the Bible. So
Well, it comes a time what goes around comes back around, press. I said this several years ago. There'll come a time where some folks gonna start catching up, and they have. And the
yeah.
portal has allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, Signetti said it best. I want some guys who want to play football. It's okay to get your bag. I just want some guys to play football.
And I tell you, that system he developed where he recruiting guys, he go back. When he said that, I literally thought like, wow, I just thought about that. He said, I
He
go
left
look,
Alabama, Preston,
yeah, for just to be a head coach.
and went to a D2 school.
Yeah. But I like his whole philosophy that when he said, if I look at stars, he said, I go look at where are 2 and 3 stars guys that's 2 years when they get 2 and 3 stars.
Right.
He said, if I
Exactly.
see a 2 or 3 star in 2024, I want to know what he's doing in 2026.
Right.
Those are the guys he booked for. Older, mature. And he said, I take a 2 or 3 star that's been in college 2 years over a 5-star just going in the college. And yeah, you got some 5 stars like a Leonard Fournette and some of these guys who they come in school grown men.
Right.
But I think there's more 2 or 3 stars that develop into great players than they are 18-year-olds who come in and ready to dominate.
Right. I agree.
So I think
I
that
agree.
philosophy is 10-10. I think he's on
Yeah.
to something with that.
Yeah, I agree. It's some kind of maturity,
Yeah. Well,
priorities,
yeah,
ideals,
well
standards.
Well
So
said.
I get it.
Maturity is the big word.
Mm-hmm.
That you 10-10 on that. But that's all I got this week, man. It's good to be back with the good brothers. We here at
Oh
Church
yeah,
Hills
always.
Friday night. The bar's pretty filling up right now. Got our girl
Okay then.
B
That's what I'm
in the
talking about.
house.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Jacks here. Last call burnt down. But actually, they're gonna be opening up next week somewhere.
What? Watch out now.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, the happy hour. So I told her, let me know, and I hadn't been the last call, but I told her I'll come out.
Let's do it, Preston. Let's show up.
They're gonna be at the old bar. It's gonna be called whatever the new guy who owns it. New guy got it. It's gonna be called something. Last call. Last call will be the last party.
What? Oh, you talking about where the old Copeland used to be at?
Yeah.
Oh, so the agave place went under already?
It's gonna be called Agave Last Call. That's the name.
Oh, okay. So we sell a lot of tacos and Grateful Dead.
No. It's gonna be bar and grill. The restaurant, restaurant been shut down.
Oh,
They knocked down the Bulldog today.
I did what?
They knocked down the Bulldog. I thought the
Man.
shoe spot was gonna buy that, but
But they said some changes. They got that consortium that that conglomerate for West in the for Jackson and Ridgeland now. Man, because the Amazon thing, and also because of the Amazon, there's also a joint economic development team between Ridgeland, Madison, Jackson, and Madison County.
Man, we got to talk about that. I didn't. Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah, go look because that Amazon thing, especially on the county line side of Ridgeland, that it's massive, and I hope Tougaloo reap the benefits of it. And that's one of the goals of it to get Tougaloo up and out.
That'd be great.
Behind the pine trees and get them to the forefront. So
thinking about fun.
I'm just saying.
Just to get them out the pine trees, though.
Yeah, man, stop getting hit out them damn pine cones.
I remember for that time, these players people out there
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
Show my age right there. That's
right.
all I got with you. You got anything else, Chad?
Hey, man, as always, come see the Churchill Smoke Shop. It might be cold out there, but it's warm in there. Man, hey, go have a good time. Have a good smoke. Remember, 10% off your first purchase. As long as you tell them you saw the Good Buzz Community Podcast.
There we go, man. That's all we got for this week, man. We holler y'all later, man.
Y'all be cool. Peace.